We are live. How about you, everybody? Welcome into the Auburn Live call-in show. I'm your host, Jeffrey Lee, Senior Recruiting Editor for Auburn Live on 3. Today is Sunday, June the 9th, 2024, in the year of our Lord. And guess what? We have a fantastic show for you. I know it's fantastic because so much has been going on at Auburn, so many official visits, some camp guys, some commitments.
Yes.
Everything, man. We want to get to the call lines as soon as possible. 701-779-9585 if you haven't already. We're going to address your comments. We're going to answer your questions best of our ability. And here to do it, here to help me do all those things, Mr. Cole Pinkston and Mr. Alan Head. How about you, fellas?
How about you?
All right.
How about you, big dog? How we doing tonight?
Man, I tell you what, Cole and I think we have exhaled after a hell of a weekend. Started with, let's see, Donovan Starr committed on Thursday.
Yes.
Broderick Shull commits on Friday. Huge group of official visitors leave on Sunday with some very interesting comments.
Yeah.
Very interesting comments.
Interesting to say the least.
You had, let's see who you had. Travis Smith and Derek Smith at wide receiver, two of the top. I mean, they're top 100 overall recruits. Both of those guys were in. You had Antonio Coleman, the 4-star defensive lineman. You had Tavares Dice. You had, who's the other? Jacoby Ward. Who am I leaving off? Oh, you had Tyler Lockhart was in.
Yep. Christian Jones.
Christian Jones out of nowhere.
Nate Marshall.
Nate Marshall. I mean, you can't forget a 5-star.
How have we done this twice? We've done this twice.
Yeah.
In 2 weeks. We left off Caleb Cunningham last week, and now Nate Marshall.
Who was the other guy? Caleb Cunningham.
There's one other guy and some big news.
Nate Marshall, the Michigan commitment, left saying, listen, I'm done with everything else. It's Auburn or Michigan. I'm coming back to Auburn for Big Cat, potentially, possibly, whatever. He's going to Michigan for an OV. And he would like to.
The highest rated guy that was there is the one that probably has the biggest news.
Yeah.
Miami, Alabama were considered official visit spots. Not anymore, according to him. And Auburn, Michigan. And he made it sound like Auburn was right there. So I took that as, huge news. I was not expecting that going into that visit at all.
Antonio Coleman, Derek Smith, the two Alabama in-state commitments, 4-star in-state commitments for Alabama. Both looked like they had a really good time. Both sounded like they had a really good time.
Just the way these official visits have been going, you don't expect anybody to walk out of there upset, number one.
No.
That's not how it's been going. Every single guy that walks out of there is calling it. I mean, they're talking about it like it's the best visit they've taken. And that's just the words that they're giving us. So, 2 Alabama commits on the same weekend, probably good strategy. Get those guys in there. They know each other. They know all the other guys. Auburn also had 2 commits, Tyler Lockhart and Tavares Dice. And,
more big news.
In talking to them, I don't know how much they all intermingle. I really do think this is not like a big group when you have all these guys. Just from reading the tea leaves of talking to these guys, it seems very individual. Each guy has their own agenda. Obviously, you put together guys like Tavares Dice and Jacoby Ward, 2 offensive linemen. That makes sense. But I don't think unless they're at a dinner or it's pretty much individual. And these coaches are working things all over campus and doing things individually with each guy. And, it sounds like it's paying off pretty well.
And it won't stop after today. Tomorrow, Monday, you've got 2, 4, 6 more coming in. Isaiah Gibson, the 5-star edge. Zion Grady, the 4-star edge. Caleb Edwards, the 4-star tight end from California. Javion Campbell, the 4-star defensive lineman from Kentucky. Walter Mathis from Georgia, the defensive lineman. And running back Shakai Mills-Knight, all coming in on Monday. Wednesday, you've got Jaden Perlotti and Keoti Armstrong. 2 more 4-stars coming in. And then next weekend on Friday is going to be Big Cat of the official visit season. It's unbelievable. We'll talk more about that on Wednesday's recruiting show. But let's get to some phone lines. Now, I do have a all points bulletin for the Auburn Live call-in listeners and watchers. Mr. Kevin from Wilmer, Alabama, is in Illinois building a church. It's the only reason he would miss this show. Thank you, Zach. Is the only reason he would miss this show. He did say his girl might call in. He did say that. So we're going to keep an eye out for that. And Kevin, Kevin, he might run off. He might give somebody the hammer and run over there and give us a call. We'll be keeping an eye on that. So we want to get to the phone lines. Oh, what you got, Alan?
I was going to say, you know what? The fact that Kevin's building a church, maybe it's divine intervention as to how he knew how all those players were going to sign and it was going to shake out last year, right?
He's revealing his source.
I'm telling you, hand to God, right?
His source is
when he says Cam Coleman's going to have 28 touchdowns.
That's right.
Hey, look, maybe I'm becoming a believer here.
All right, Zach's going to get us to the phone lines, but before we do, y'all know the drill, folks. If you're looking for a house in or around Auburn, Opelika, Lee County, look no further for the help you need. Miss Jessica Andrus with the Talents Group. Give her a call, 334-704-4442. She is a 5-star realtor. If you don't believe me, by George, hold on. I want to get his name right, by George. If you don't believe me, just ask freaking old Jinx03. Jinx03, who is responsible for her 5-star realtor jersey. Him and his wife used her and was like, man, let me just read you what he said. I used Jessica Andrus when we purchased our house in Opelika and would definitely recommend her. She even helped us move. She even helped us more than our agent selling our house in another state. She's a 5-star, no doubt. My wife even made the shirts to prove it. If you don't believe me, then me and Jeffrey Lee will call you a liar. Right there, review, big dogs. So give her a call, man. Jessica Andrus with the Talent Group. I promise you will not be disappointed. Ask Jink03 or me. 334-704-4442. And, of course, tell her we sent you. All right, Zach in the back, who came to the front. What you got for us, big dog?
So without Kevin leading off the show, we're kind of lost here. And we have 3 numbers I don't recognize. So we're just going to take a shot in the dark.
Oh.
2246. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Mystery box.
What's going on, fellas?
He changes his number again.
Look at that.
He's staying on the
What's
run.
going on, fellas?
What's going on, Edward?
This is an appropriate opening call.
2246, man. 2246, that's my cell phone number. I got 2 cell phones. The 2178, that's my house phone.
Oh.
I'm on a cell phone today, sitting on my foot.
He's got the burner.
Painting Jack, man. It's enjoying the afternoon.
Well, Edward, you're filling in for Kevin from Wilmer, so you have huge shoes to fill. But if anybody can do it, you can. But good luck. What you got for us, big dog?
All right, I got Cam Coleman scoring 27 touchdowns. I got Terry Thompson scoring 26 touchdowns. I got Peyton Thorne throwing for 300 yards.
All right.
That's my Kevin for Wilmer.
I hear you. That's your.
Hey, that was good. That was good. That was good, Edward. That's how we needed to start the show.
Paying homage to Kevin.
300 yards for Peyton Thorne, though. That's about where we need to be at, honestly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I heard y'all had some pretty big visitors down there this weekend, man.
Fantastic weekend. It was a lot of fun. And I was going to say this earlier. Cole and I, some of the reports that we give are our opinions on how visits went are not just based on what they're telling us, but also what we're hearing and seeing. But yeah, Edward, everything that we heard from this weekend, all 8 guys, was extremely positive, both on the record and off the record.
Oh, yeah, man. Before I go into it too deep, I want my guy, War Eagle Insider. He had made a post the other night. And I don't want you to think I was attacking you, but when it comes to my kids, man, I'm kind of protective of them, especially, my guy, Mr. Smith, and the post you made, I kind of didn't like how you worded it because, if he liked Alabama academics, then he liked Alabama academics. What it is to say about that, you know what I mean? So I got to always stand on business when it comes to my kids because that young man dropped my son off in practice every day. So it's more of a personal thing, and whether he goes to Auburn, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, wherever he chooses to go, even though I'm standing behind it 100%. So
absolutely.
that was
And you
just
know
my
what?
thoughts on that. But
I think he was meaning more general. I deleted that post, Edward, because I saw what you, and I know I met War Eagle Insider last week. Cole did too.
Yep.
I think he was just meaning it wasn't a shot personally at Derek. It was more broad terms, but I did understand exactly what you were talking about. I would have deleted it anyways. But overall, good dude. So
you
don't
have to
hold
be
it. Don't
careful
hold it
what you
against
post on
him.
these on the
Absolutely.
corner. And what I want folks to see, you never know who got family members that subscribe to Auburn Live on 3. You don't
Dude,
know. So
I've been preaching that for
what
20
I'm
years,
saying
buddy.
is, sometimes you can say stuff about a recruit, and it may not be meant negative, but you know what I mean? They family see it, they're going to take it up as negative. So just be careful when you got this staff behind the 8 ball and working their ass off trying to flip a kid, and a kid that I feel like we got a good chance. Now, I've been saying it since day one. I feel like we got a great chance, and that's what I was saying on the call-in show last year. Now it's about showing how I'm going to use Cam and Perry, showing how my passing game evolves. So that's what he's waiting to see. That's what I was saying last week. That's what he's waiting to see.
Edward, I think you're spot on there. I've been kind of poking around background, and I think that is the biggest thing with Derek Smith. Absolutely is how productive is Auburn this year, and that goes both defensively and offensively. I think the kid probably leans towards playing wide receiver at the next level. That's my guess. I think that's the position he wants to play. But you know the kid better than I do. But I think how Auburn produces at safety and how they produce at wide receiver, what does that evolved, nuanced passing game look like, is the biggest piece of his recruitment from an Auburn standpoint. You know what I mean? I think he feels like DeBoer is going to be able to air it out because of what he did last year at Washington. But from Auburn's standpoint, that is where they need to close the gap. And if they do that, I think I'm with you. I think it gets interesting down the stretch with him.
I thought that was.
He's a kid. People ask me all the time, what do you see him playing in college? I said, well, it's hard to say, man, because as great as he is a wide receiver in the right system, he's a day one NFL pick at safety or nickel. I believe it. I've seen it too many times. When the ball is in the air and he's playing a defender, he's more liable to catch the ball and intercept the ball than the offensive player is. And his ball skills are immaculate. He's the kind of safety that thrived when Nick was there. So I can see him on the defensive ball side. I can see him on the offensive side because, hey, I've seen him do it too many times, man. I just love that kid, man. But I like what he's doing in his recruiting. That's what I'm more excited that, he got guys coming in that's already committed other places. And he's going to get some of those guys. This class right here, I think, when it's all said and done, it's going to be probably one of the better classes that Auburn ever signed. Just the total pound for pound, it ain't going to be no weakness. You just short up the offensive line. Your defensive line going to be stout. You're going to get some linebackers. You got some cornerbacks. I think you're going to get the quarterback that you want eventually. Finding a running back that you want in your system. But other than that, man, I think this is going to be pound for pound. You can't just look at ratings when you look at different classes. I think you're going to really feel all you need. This is going to be a home run class, in my opinion. But my guy, Perry Thompson, a lot of people like to write Perry off. And I was talking to my guy and I was telling him, if Cam Coleman was able to make up that much ground and establish himself as the alpha dog, and he didn't step foot on campus till January, and he did that from January to April, you don't think Perry can come in when they're doing 7-on-7 and all of that from May to September? Quite possible now.
Absolutely. I think he's going to be counted on too.
I think he's going to. Yeah, I think he's going to have to be counted on. I mean, you probably feel good about what your first 4 wide receivers So Cam Coleman is a guy that obviously has been through spring. You just brought in Dre. Obviously, you've got the young man from Georgia State. I think you feel Robert Lewis. You feel really good about those three. Rivaldo Fairweather, Sam Jackson. I think there's been some positive return there so far. Camden Brown had a good spring, but then beyond that,
those are your tier 1 guys.
I think, yeah, those are your tier 1, and there's nothing to say that Perry Thompson, should he be able to put in the work, can't get into that group. Because that's only 5 wide receivers that I'm counting right there. To have a complete 2 deep, you're going to need 6. So Perry stands a chance realistically of being in the 2 deep, being a contributor. And I think what I've said is can he be Seth Williams? Can he have that kind of an effect on the offense? You remember Seth as a freshman, I think he caught for right at 500 yards, maybe just shy of that, 5 touchdowns. So can Perry come in and create that kind of a difference right away? And I think that's a fair assessment of where he could be if everything comes together. Now, who knows?
Right on a limb, hey, here.
Go ahead, buddy.
By the time you're in the immediate standard, you're going to have 2 freshman starting wide receivers.
Woo!
You're going to have Cam and Kerry. And I know you brought some guys in, and I know you got some guys there. But we're at a different age of college football. It's more important that I keep 3 happy because I need 3 for next year. You see what I'm saying? Everybody else is expendable. Everybody else is expendable. I brought him in for a reason. And if the talent gap is not that far, then you go with the guy that I got to keep happy for next year. And I'm calling it. By the time you play probably Oklahoma, Perry Thompson will be starting on the opposite side from Cam Coleman.
Beating out Keandre Lambert-Smith.
If that happens, Edward, if he beats out Keandre Lambert-Smith, who's been a productive wide receiver in the Big Ten, you will have stumbled into probably what will be the 2 most productive wide receivers in my lifetime in an Auburn uniform.
He's been productive, but he's not 6'3", 210.
No, that's true. That's true.
Like a certain type of guy. When he gets in the red zone, or even his whole offense is based around having those kind of guys, and when he get those matchup with his big receiver, I'm going to throw the ball up and make a play. And I don't think that KLS might be a good player, but he's not that. He's not that. You got a monster, man. That guy going to be on the field. It ain't going to be no 2 deep. That's your starting wide receiver by the middle of the year. And I'm going to hang up and let y'all guys talk, man.
Did we, hey, Edward, before you go, well, we're going to, Emos had a question. Emos, who's the better NFL safety prospect, Derek Smith or Malcolm Simmons?
Ooh.
The better, I just told you who was going to be a number 1
Yeah, I would say
first round NFL draft pick. I mean, I'm not saying I haven't seen Malcolm Simmons. Malcolm Simmons is a hell of an athlete, and I was just about to say, don't count him out either. But hey, Derek Smith, yeah, hey, I'm going with him. I like him in the secondary better than some guy that's already on the roster. Me personally, because I've seen what he can do. He can come down here like he's a perfect guy for that money linebacker position. You can put another 10 pounds on him. He can hit like a linebacker. He can cover like a cornerback. I mean, what's not to like about that? But I had a question. I'm going to ask y'all, and then I'm going to hang up. And we all praying for Betty and, his family and all of them. They're in our prayer, but, seeing that his situation, he's very unlikely to play this season. Do you think Jeremiah Cobb might take a bigger role of kick returner, or do you see somebody maybe, or Malcolm Simmons or one of the younger guys filling that role? And I want to hear y'all thoughts on that.
Hey, Edward, one more time before you hang up. We're going to get to that question. We'll answer that question when you personal question of the week, POW, Q is silent. We'll go, since you're talking about cell phones, Cole brought one up, man. What was your first cell phone? Do you remember?
Man, I had a little Nokia, man. Just I can't even remember I don't even know the phone had a name then. It was just a Nokia
Yeah, I hear you. I think me too, big
I
dog.
couldn't call nobody. It was with Sprint. And the crazy thing about this story, I'm gonna tell you this story. I got the damn phone in Montgomery. I stay in rural Ottawa County. Not a cell phone tower 15 miles from me. I had to drive 2 or 3 miles from my house to even talk to somebody. And you couldn't call nobody really till after 9 o'clock or on the weekend. It was just a different time then. But I had an old Nokia. That was my first phone.
Check it out, Zach. Pull me up real quick. Oh, there you go.
No, I hear you.
That's it. You could run that thing over with a Mack truck. It'd be all right.
I'm telling you, dude.
Babe, can you see that, Edward?
I think he's outside on
What
his
you got in your hand?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that's all right. We're going to talk about Jeremiah Cobb. Does this
Oh, man,
situation?
that's the same phone I had, man. That's the same phone I had, man.
Taking you back, Edward.
Yep.
Now, the first one I used was the bag phone.
Y'all got to have a good show, man.
All right, big dog. Appreciate you, man.
The bag phone.
It was in a bag.
Yeah, bro. Like, and you keep it in your car. I had one of those Zach Moore cell phones too, bro. Size of a brick. Couldn't put that thing in your pocket. Just insane.
You got me on the bag phone. I didn't know about that one. Not gonna lie.
That was the first one I used, and then they had the big one.
Remember
the big one? I used that one, but that Nokia was my first one. Okay. Go ahead, Cole. Yeah, we Zach probably iPhone 13.
Me and Cole are around the same age, so
my first one, man. I wish the phone still had this feature. It was the Nextel. I had a yellow rubber Nextel phone, and it had the beep beep on it.
Yeah, man, the walkie-talkie.
Oh, yeah, that's what everybody in the country had.
Yeah, man.
Y'all didn't have cell towers. Oh man, what Shane and them have in Woodland? They had Nextel. Is that what they were? Is that what you said?
Nextel, yeah.
Yeah, yep. I think it was beep beep.
It was Nextel and then Southern Link.
Southern
Link. That's it. That's exactly what everybody who didn't have cell phone towers, they had the Nextel and Southern Link.
Yep.
Alan, were you a Nokia guy?
Because
the flip phone came out after the Nokia.
Right. So I had service with Alltel, and yes, Nokia was my first cell phone, man.
Yep.
Before Alltel got bought out by AT&T.
All right. So with Batty likely out, will that open up more carries for Jeremiah Cobb?
Unequivocally, yes.
Scott.
Yes. I think the big question, though, is who's the kick returner? Because Batty was an All-American kick returner before he got to Auburn, and he did a good job.
Absolutely.
As well. So who's the kick returner? Question. I don't know. I mean, even Nehemiah Pritchett was returning some kicks before, and now he's gone.
You can't put Jeremiah Cobb back there because what if he gets hurt?
I don't think you can risk it. Now.
I think this opens the door for a player like a Malcolm Simmons. I really do.
Oh.
You think about, and then also think about punt returner. Look, they trotted out Keontae Scott, and your backup punt returner is in the portal presently. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
is that Cohen Moore?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was
trying to bring him.
Yeah, I was going to say, like I was trying to do Coy solid on that one. But the whole special teams return game to me is going to be a mystery. I think it's going to be an opportunity for some freshmen to get into the mix. Guys, like Malcolm Simmons. I'm trying to think of the young man that's already on campus right now, went through spring.
Bryce Kane.
Yes, Bryce Kane. Another guy that I think could be involved in the return game. Jarquez Hunter is a guy that has been involved in the return game for Auburn. I don't think he's going to be as your featured running back.
They'll probably have a by committee approach.
I think so. And I think
Jeremiah find somebody.
I think Jeremiah will get touches in the return game. I do. I don't think he's going to be like a consistent, he's the guy, but I think they're going to, like Cole said, rotate some guys through there.
Well, do you think they get to a point where they go, all right, this is a moment in a game that a very big kick return could be massive. And in that case, I mean, the way that they've toned down kickoffs now,
Mhm.
I mean, you might throw a Jarquez Hunter in there. It's like giving him a carry. But is he the guy all the time? No way.
Absolutely not.
I hear you.
And I tell you what, I guess he was kind of undersold when we signed him as a preferred walk-on, but due to unforeseen circumstance, you're going to find out how good Cole Gamble is. I think he's probably your fourth running back right now.
That's probably true.
And I don't know if Auburn's going to be.
As far as walk-on running backs, Christian Burnett from Faith Academy was a pretty good player in high school. Justin Jones has been on roster for a while. He's played a lot of special teams for Auburn. Could he help out?
Yep.
I mean, you don't want to get down to that, and no offense to those guys, of course, but you don't want to get down to that point, obviously.
No, and I think it's unclear as to what Sean Jackson's role is going to be moving forward, if he's going to be with the team or not. I think that's still up in the air. So really, you've got 3 scholarship backs. Gamble was a kid that, like Sean Jackson, had a lot of smaller school offers. So some ability there. And then you mentioned some of the other kids that were also walk-ons at Auburn. So it'll be interesting to see how they divvy up carries, because you have to stay healthy this year. You cannot afford to have a major injury. If you have 2 major injuries, your whole backfield could be wrecked. And then you may be looking at a completely different style of offense. So what was viewed as a strength now, due to some injury, unfortunately, may not necessarily, from a depth standpoint, not a talent, but a depth standpoint, may not be the strength we once thought it was.
Let's see, Zach, you got somebody. Before we do, did you ever give us your first cell phone?
So I don't remember what the first one was. I had like a prepaid phone at one point, but the first like real one I remember was one of those Razors.
Oh yeah,
that got really popular there.
I remember the Razor. Yeah,
that was my first one.
All right.
Did y'all ever have to text on the Nokia when texting started coming out more?
Yeah, you had 3 letters for each
Nokia
number. You had to hit 1 3 times to get a C, and you had to go to 2 to hit it twice to get an E. That's when the OMWs and BRBs and
I'm telling you, dude.
You had to really use the lingo then.
Text talk was invented. See, when I got a sidekick, that's when my game stepped up there.
That's what I was about to say. I went from the Nextel to the little slide up with the
with the QWERTY.
Yeah. I had a slide,
man. I could
game changer when you had that keyboard.
Absolutely game changer.
Yes, all right, Zach, get us on, big dog.
5810. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Los Angeles, Montgomery.
That's what I thought.
What's up?
What's up, big dog? You calling from your bathroom?
I got some headphones on. Y'all can hear my sound.
No, you fine.
No, we got you.
Yeah.
Oh. Y'all doing all right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Anthony following Edward. That's a pretty damn good show.
I know,
Start
man.
to the show.
Hey, it's funny that Cole said a Nextel because we around the same age. It's called a church. That's what they call it.
The church.
The church, yeah.
The Nextel church.
Like a little beep, like a little walkie talkie. Yeah, that was my first one too.
Oh yeah,
the church.
Well, also piggyback off with Edward said, I agree with him on Perry. Me personally, his freshman year, I would play Perry in the slot. Just think about that frame with that RPO system and him on the swing. I thought about in the slot, man, you got Cam and you got Lambert Smith on the outside, you put Perry in the slot, and you put those guys in that RPO with Rennie Flint, and you use that big body frame to box out that nickel corner, that'd be crazy.
Hey, I wouldn't put it past
you. I was caught there because I know everybody talk about recruiting, but we're a month away from media days, so I was wanting you guys' opinion on which 3 guys you think you're going to take them to media day.
Hey, hang on. What did he say?
He said, which 3 players do you think they'll take to SEC Media Day?
Ooh.
Anthony, you got a little
Hey, Anthony, switch to your phone.
What's up?
The back.
Can you hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, that's much better.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
All right, so what 3 players do you think SEC Media Days? I would start with Luke Deal.
Yes,
Oh yeah, definitely.
100% Luke Deal.
Do you take Peyton Thorne?
Probably.
And
Jarquez? No, you got to have somebody on defense.
Asante.
Gotta have-
It's going to be
there you
Eugene
go.
Asante.
That's a good one.
Because you're going to take team captains on that.
Yeah. I think those are the three in the.
Yeah, boy, not a ton of like veteran presence on this team. Not like guys that have been around for a while, at least. There's some veterans, but guys that are, transfers.
Did they take Rivaldo Fairweather over Luke Deal?
Well, Keontae Scott's a good pick.
Keontae Scott's another good one. Or did they take Keontae Eugene and Peyton? You know what I mean? Because those are all going to be featured players on the field.
Yeah, Luke, as a team spokesman, absolutely. I just don't know if he's SEC media. It's like, what's the story there?
He was there last year.
He was, and so maybe they give an opportunity to somebody else.
I mean, he was more, not that he's not exciting, but he was more exciting than you thought because he like played guitar and played a song or something, and that was a big thing. But they're going to pick him. I have no doubt.
It's tough.
I would be shocked if they didn't.
If they didn't take Luke Deal?
If they did not take Luke Deal.
I mean, that's fair. And Luke has earned it. And maybe you take him over Peyton. Maybe you spare Peyton having to answer some of those questions.
That might be the play.
You know what I mean? And then you take Asante, you take Keontae Scott, help them with their draft stock because it allows them to interview, more exposure, things of that nature. Because those are both guys who are going to be looking at being drafted into the NFL.
Yeah, the Peyton stories and the headlines are going to have connotations to it. They're going to have negative slants to it. It's going to start off as he struggled and was bad last year.
Yes.
Can he?
That might be a reason to take him. Headlines. That's the day and age we live in.
Well, it is that.
Yeah, but Auburn can control those, though.
Correct.
That's what the headlines will be. So we don't want to take him because you don't want kids, wide receiver recruits reading those.
No,
and that reminded of how bad he was.
That was my thought because the second you start rolling out, he threw for 1,700 yards and 11 touchdowns or whatever it was, 16 touchdowns. It's just not. I think what Auburn wants is like Jeffrey's saying is to control the narrative with Peyton and let him go out and have a big first couple of games and then be able to kind of roll him, re-immerse him back out into the media, right? Like roll him back. It's with local media, we know the deal. I mean, you guys know the deal. You understand everything. But with national media, I think they're probably going to be a little bit more cautious as far as his reemergence with them and how that's handled somewhat, kind of repackaged to a degree.
When we were doing spring roundtables with these guys, and Auburn would send us guys to the media and talk to us, it was really like the same five guys, and then about 2 or 3 more extras. Like here, we'll throw some different guys in the mix, but these 5 guys are pretty much going to talk to y'all every time. We trust them; they speak well, and it was Luke Deal, Rivaldo Fairweather.
Yep.
Damari Austin.
Yep.
Was always there. Jason Jones was always there.
I think Jarquez is an option as well.
Oh, now that might be.
What? I don't think we spoke to Jarquez once.
Interesting.
So
well,
that's what I was thinking. I don't think he would maybe want. I don't think we did.
And I don't want to bring anything back up, but everything last offseason was just kind of a whirlwind in that situation. So
that's very true. He did not play the first game.
Yes.
Wesley Steiner was there every week too. He's not with Auburn anymore. That was another guy in the rotation. But that's the point. Wesley Steiner had been with Auburn for a long time. There's not many guys on this team that have been with Auburn for a long time.
Yeah, I was going down the offensive line. I think the guys that we've mentioned, I think the 3 are going to be chosen from that group.
Jeremiah Wright.
See?
We talked to him a lot.
Throw him in there too.
He's been there for a while.
Jarquez is an interesting one that maybe you take. You talk about NFL players.
That's what I was thinking.
You know what I mean? That's another one that, are you trying to help these guys? And Jarquez, to his credit, has always done well in interviews. He's never.
Absolutely.
He's not a bad interview by any means.
No,
got some charisma to him. He's honest. So I think that would be good for him. And because Luke got that experience last year, yes, he's an absolute, no question, Luke Deal, captain on this football team.
Sure.
But I think sometimes who you take to media days, they aren't always your captain. Sometimes it's what's the best story.
All right, going off of Anthony's question real quick. What 3 would y'all want for the most entertainment value?
Entertainment value?
Yeah. Because the first person that pops in my mind every single time we talk to him, he's hilarious, is Percy Lewis.
Oh.
He's great. Man.
I think Keontae's got a good personality.
Yeah.
Percy was talking about, and Auburn made a video about it. Freeze confronted him at practice, said, "Man, I ain't sending you to the media anymore because you told them that we feed y'all too much." Really? Well, yeah, coach, I'm trying to cut weight. Oh, you know, that kind of personality would be funny. You know what I mean?
Give me Reed Hughes. Give me Austin Keys. Give me
Eugene's funny too.
Eugene Asante. I'd take those 3.
Yeah,
those guys would be fun.
And the behind the scenes video that they will make with Eugene and Reed. Who was the other one?
Austin Keys.
Austin Keys.
Yeah.
It'll be
no way they don't send Eugene to do the less work thing. No way they don't send him.
No,
right?
Absolutely not. Yeah, Eugene will be there 100%.
Yeah, I think he will.
Fantastic stuff, Anthony.
Yeah,
what you got for us, Zach?
9541. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
It's Wanda from Wilmer, Alabama.
Yeah, what's up, Wanda? How about you, girl?
Hey, I am calling for Kevin because he is on a mission trip in Illinois.
Awesome.
Wanda, you just made my night. You made the show. We were so worried that we weren't going to hear from Kevin, and I was hoping you would call.
Yes, and I've got he actually wrote down his 5 commits for next year.
Oh, yeah.
And your emoji came back. Thank you.
All right, Wanda. Kevin, 5 recruits for this year. What you got?
He's got Caleb Cunningham.
Oh,
okay.
Good one.
Alvin Henderson.
He is 2 for 2 right now.
In my class, he is.
Mm-hmm. Mine too. No,
Jasper Park.
Jasper Parker, okay.
Oh, wow.
Interesting.
Eric Winters.
Ooh.
Good pick.
And J.J. Lewis.
Okay.
Juju Lewis.
Oh.
Okay.
Threw us off with Jasper, but not a bad pick. Interesting.
No.
I think the majority of those guys, he's going to be right on. And you know, he reserves the right to replace guys from week to week.
Yes, he does.
Yes,
right.
Wanda, tell us about Kevin. Is he as cool as we think he is?
Yes.
What do you like about Kevin?
Everything. I mean, he's just a respectful. He treats me with respect, and he treats me like a lady should be treated.
I hear you, Kevin.
When you're dating, instead of like some of these other guys that are cruel.
He is a gentleman.
Yes, he is, very much.
A gentleman and a scholar, we have learned. Wanda, how long have y'all been dating, if you don't mind me asking?
5 years.
Wow. Well, where did y'all meet?
Well, we actually met online.
Did you really?
On a chat line.
Oh, right, man. So he talked you into going out with him.
Well, actually, he talked me into coming to Florida to meet him.
Oh.
Kevin's got some tech skills.
I went, and everything clicked, and
now
are you together?
you live in Wilmer with near Kevin or with Kevin?
I live with him.
All right. Did you move in with him? Where did you move from?
I moved from Georgia.
Okay. Man, what a story, Wanda.
Yeah, that's
We
awesome.
love Kevin's a superstar.
Yeah, well, he is actually, up there in Illinois where he's at, they were having church tonight. So he asked me to call in for him and give y'all his recruits.
Well,
you did a fantastic job.
And we're just very appreciative, Wanda, that you called in and that you were able to share with us about Kevin. That's something that I think with this show, it gives a face to our callers sometimes, and having an opportunity to hear more about them is always something that I enjoy and just truly appreciate you calling in.
Absolutely.
You're welcome.
you got
And he'll be
yourself
back. He will actually be back Saturday.
okay, so we can count on him
So
next week.
He'll be on Sunday.
Well, Wanda, you don't be a stranger now. If you call and check in with us too, if you want to.
Okay, well, a lot of times I come in, like Devin, there was one night he was on with y'all, and I come in the room to ask him a question, and I actually got caught on, because we usually watch it on
Yeah.
YouTube, on TV. And my voice got caught on the show.
We were listening to you. Wanda, you sound like a real sweet lady. I hope you call back, talk to us again, or at least get on the phone next time Kevin calls in.
Okay, I will.
Thank you so much, Wanda. We really appreciate you. Tell Kevin I hope he has a safe trip home, and we'll look forward to hearing from him next week.
Okay, I will.
Thank you, ma'am.
You
All right.
That was awesome.
What a wonderful little lady.
I'm telling you, man.
Wanda from Wilmer.
Hey, if that doesn't become a name on the corner, then I don't know what's going on.
Wanda from Wilmer. So he's got, let's talk about his picks.
Yeah, if we
Caleb
can have-
Cunningham. I've got Auburn leading. I mean, hell, he's said it.
Yeah, he's in my class right now.
Alvin Henderson.
Yes,
Yep.
in my class right now.
Yep.
Eric Winters.
Yep.
Yes, as of today.
Visiting this weekend. I think Georgia's the team to beat right now, but could have said that a lot last year is what I'm saying. There's a lot that can go on the next 10 days. Juju Lewis.
Maybe not.
I'm not arguing with him.
No,
I
I think he could very much end up in this class. I think he could also very much end up at USC or Colorado. I just don't know what's going to happen on that one.
I think Jasper is your swinging door as far as your seat at the table. He's probably doesn't have a reservation, but if you lose out to if you get Alvin, you're looking for one more, right? High school
Right.
kid.
So you got Usman Chroma, Shakai Mills-Knight. Those are two guys that you're obviously looking at.
DeJuan
Morris, who's coming in for an official visit this coming weekend. Trey Kinkle, who's coming in for an official visit this coming
Forgot about him.
weekend. So there's some other guys that are there that Auburn's going to take a hard look at. And, they've offered a handful of others. I know there's a young man that just committed to Georgia Tech that they offered this spring. So JP Powell. But I would think that one of DeJuan Morris or Trey Kinkle are probably back number 2 in this class. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see what Shakai Mills-Knight says.
Sure.
My information was Miami had made a move, but he also just visited Michigan. Apparently that went very well. So we'll see. Maybe he's more open than what was originally thought. So it's going to be running back recruiting, as we just talked about, is very important in this class. So how this shakes out, you may be putting more resources towards that one than you necessarily thought when we started the class, right?
That's a great starting list, though.
Yeah.
It's a great start. I mean, you think about how difficult it is for you, Alan, to put your mock class together. I think Cole's done it as well. How difficult it is to do the hot board percentages. They're changing every week. So that's a good starting point from Kevin via Wanda. Love Mr. Wanda.
Yep. If we can have J Head's hairline on the corner, we can have Wanda from Wilmer. Somebody get in there.
5013. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Oh, Don.
Yes, sir. Don. We're down, Don. Guys, how about you, fellas?
How about you,
What's
Don?
Because, hey, what a call from Wander from Wilmer, man. That was unbelievable.
You got some bigger
I'm
shoes
honored
to
to
fill.
follow Edward, her, Anthony. My goodness, guys. But I'm going to be, hey, listen, I'm going to be on that list one day. Y'all will recognize my number every week, fellas.
I like it, Don. I like it.
Hope so.
Okay, but guys, y'all been doing this a while, and I don't think I've ever seen a recruiting summer like this, guys. You know, like I told you guys several times, I go all the way back to '81. This is and I honestly think I know y'all talked about it in the questions from the corner the other day, and Alan, I think we are going to have top 5 class.
I like it, Don.
I'm not going to argue with it.
Nope, preach to me. Come on.
With Kevin, Pick, and Juju, it's a lock. He was right on everyone last year, and Edward, Edward's talking about Perry Thompson, and I agree with everything you said. A lot of people are forgetting about Perry Thompson.
Yep, not for long though, right?
Hopefully
well,
not.
I mean, you got to remember. I mean, last year I think Hugh played about 8 receivers just about every game, so Perry's going to be in the 2 deep.
Oh yeah, sure. That's a good point.
You know what I'm saying? But Cole, got a question, buddy.
Yes, sir.
Opening high school weekend. Have you picked which game you're going to do yet?
I have not. Give me some suggestions, Don.
Well, I think Parker's playing somebody. I think Parker's playing Ramsey, if I'm not mistaken.
Ooh.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? But I know. Hey, you'll have 20 million games to choose from, but also too, when I was kidding you last week about buying you a beer at Twin Peaks after the 7-on-7, I think we all need to have a party for the corner and invite everybody, because I know the people at Twin Peaks and the managers, because I go there quite a bit, and if y'all want me to, I can set something up for that Saturday.
Well, Don, I didn't think you were kidding. I was in.
Where's Twin Peaks?
It's close to the Galleria in Birmingham. It's right down the street from the Hoover Met where they had the event.
Oh,
that would be fun. Yeah.
Be a perfect spot.
Yep, count me in.
Okay. Oh, okay. Jeffrey on my cell phone. And you're going to get a kick out of this because I'm an old man. My dad in his car actually had one of those big old Motorola cell phones in his car.
The car phone.
Yes.
That was the first one I used, but the very first little small cell phone I got was just like everybody else, a Nokia, and I had to go prepay like $30 every time. And as much as I love to talk, I ran out of the minutes and probably.
I don't doubt. I do not doubt it.
Guys,
I hear you, Don.
Thank you. Thanks for everything you guys do, and you count on me for calling every week, fellas. And we're damn equal.
Appreciate you, big dog.
Bring it
I
on.
like it. And to Don's credit, I mean, to his point about a top 5 class, when I put mine together, and guys, I mean, look, you know what it's like. Jeffrey, you were just talking about your hot board percentages, and Cole, I know what it's like when you're going back and forth. Do I put this person in? Do I not?
Yeah.
Juju Lewis being added to the class that I just put up on Friday, that takes you right at the brink of a top 5 class.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what I put up is very doable. I honestly do, given the way Auburn has recruited so far. And I know that it feels compressed right now because there are a lot of official visits that are going on. And a lot of that is because the signing day is moving up to the first week of December. So all of December is going to be dead, where you used to have that period for official visits. Now Jeffrey's going to be in the woods. The rut's going to be coming in, and my man doesn't have to worry about a recruiting story breaking.
Oh, man.
And listen, like I always like to do, let's flash back to this time a year ago.
Mm-hmm.
Jamonte Waller was all about from Florida,
Locked in,
and he committed to Florida, and he ends up flipping late November, I believe it was.
Yes.
All right. We were not talking about Amaris Williams, and he was close to being a 5-star in some rankings. So we say this all the time. You got to be patient on these things. There's going to be decommit season. And Auburn
Yes.
ain't safe. Auburn ain't safe from that. Nobody is.
No.
So there's also going to be flip season. And Auburn has been the benefactor of that pretty well so far. So
You
there's a
just made a
lot
great
of-
point, Cole. The hot boards, the mock classes, you're going to have guys on there in November, December that we ain't even mentioned.
That's right.
So 100%. I went back and looked at my first one from last year, and I might have gotten 50% of that class right. I mean, it was all chewed up because of new names that emerged. It's so hard to do. Now, I think there's more known than unknown at this time of the year than there was last year. But again, you're right, Cole, in that there's going to be decommitment season. Guys that seem firm right now to Auburn, I promise you, somebody's going to flip them. Somebody's going to flip them.
Here, I'm going to make the easiest prediction I made in a long time right here. Auburn's commit list right now, somebody on that commit list will not sign with Auburn.
Yep.
And by that, I don't know of anybody right now that's wavering. I think Auburn's pretty good with everybody, but I'm playing the law of averages.
And you would have said the same thing a year ago about Fat Burnett and Jaden Lewis.
Yeah. Well, at the time, we thought those guys were for sure signees with Auburn.
Right.
But this is
Those two are easy ones.
And I'm not trying to deaden what Auburn's doing right now. I think Auburn's ahead of where they were a year ago. I think they have more blue chip prospects on the board than they did a year ago at this point.
Yes, I agree. Good stuff, Don. Appreciate you, big dog. We'll look forward to you next week. Keep us going there, Zach.
7208. You're live. Who we talking to? Where are you calling from?
Fellas, hey, this is Jacob from Springville, Alabama.
Jacob.
Okay.
I think you're a first-time
Springville.
caller, big dog.
Is that North Alabama?
I am, yes, sir. Yeah, I got
I
some
think
studs
it's-
to follow up too.
East
Is
of
that-
Birmingham.
Springville. Is that northeast of Birmingham, North Alabama?
It's in between like Birmingham and Gadsden, like right in
Okay.
the middle of Birmingham.
There you
Gadsden.
go.
All right,
Northeast.
that puts me right there. I got it.
Well, Edward and Anthony kind of hit on what I was thinking about with Perry, but I was going to ask, y'all think we might see Perry, Cam Coleman, Robert Lewis, and KLS all on the field at the same time? Go 4 wide, throw one of them in the slot.
Absolutely.
Yes, but I will
Maybe.
tell you,
Fairweather out there too. I mean, hate to take the running backs off the field with as good as they are, but you throw Fairweather out there with them 4 or somebody.
Empty set.
Hey, pull out my favorite Mike Leach play, 4 verts, baby. Bring it back.
you're gonna see it.
Hike and
Yeah.
shag ass.
Is it gonna be the base? Don't think so.
No.
But you're
No,
gonna see
absolutely
it. for
not.
sure. Definitely gonna see it for sure. But 12 personnel, I think that's where you're at right now.
No, I agree. And 12 personnel because of what Rivaldo Fairweather does for you in the slot. Having him as a move piece and being able to utilize Luke Deal, so it allows you to have all of your best players on the field right now. So you have KLS, you have Cam Coleman, you obviously have Rivaldo Fairweather, who has receiving type skills in the slot that you can also utilize as a blocker matched up against a support star. And it allows you to kind of overload what may be a lighter box so you can utilize a power running game and then still have the ability to hit vertical shots down the field. I mean, I'm with you, Cole. I think that's where you're going to base out of, but absolutely 11 and 10 personnel are going to be featured. And I think that's part of showing a developed passing game. You have to be able to spread it a little bit more than you did last year.
Right.
And also with what Alan said earlier, I don't know if it will happen or if it'll be consistent, but I do hope to see old Malcolm Simmons in the return game.
That sounds
You know,
good to me.
With all this talk of Perry Thompson, why not him? That dude's dynamic with the ball in his hands. In fact, I think it's the best thing he does right now.
Yeah.
I agree.
Who are you talking about, Malcolm?
Perry
Yes.
Thompson.
Oh, Perry with the ball in his hands?
Maybe I said Malcolm. I meant to say, with all the talk about Perry tonight, why not him as a kick returner? I think that
That's
guy
Perry Thompson?
dynamic with the ball in his hands.
I agree. He's got an ability. He sees the field very well, Cole. He's obviously got 4.4 speed, I would think, within that range.
He's up there. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is he really that fast at that size? He's huge.
Oh, I know. I'd say he's 4.4, 4.5, something of that nature, but with the ability, some fluidity to him, the ability to cut,
Make
good
people
vision.
miss.
Yeah, absolutely.
Strong. Yeah, all that.
Yeah.
Okay. Good stuff, Jacob. Appreciate you, big dog.
3-1, 3-4. You're live. Who we talking to? Where you calling from?
Big dog. 3-1, 3-4. You're live. You talking to? What's up, guys? This is Lee Carter from Bruton, Alabama.
Lee Carter.
How
What's going
about you,
on?
Lee?
Man, it's been a minute. I had to get another call in.
How's the old lady
There you go.
doing?
Man, she's doing all right.
I'm sitting here with him.
Oh, look at her.
I done got her ever since we met y'all. She said, "I guess I'll watch the show with you now." So
Oh, yeah. You can't miss
How
it now.
about that?
That's appointment TV, baby.
There you go. Scheduled TV. I like it, man.
must see. All right, hey, I'm gonna kind of flashback to last week because there was a whole lot of talk about Juju last week, and it just kind of made me think. And you know, we had went to church, so I didn't catch y'all live, and I didn't call in. But you know, you see a lot, and I see a lot of these guys, and they're talking about, you know, well, this is Juju or a transfer or this, that, and the other. And I kind of agreed with what Cole was saying last week about, you know, there's a possibility we don't even take a quarterback this year. Like, I could see that happening. I was like, but I think my thing is wouldn't you hope we got Hugh Freeze and Ken Austin and QB Whisperers? You know, I don't understand why everybody's first jump is we don't get Juju, we got to get a portal guy. I mean, I would think that we would hope as Auburn fans that we're developing QBs now, and why a Hank Brown or a Walker White wouldn't be the viable option for next year without going to the portal and bringing in a hitter, you know. But I was just thinking about all that last week. I just wanted to call in and kind of pick y'all's brains on it and see what y'all think about that situation.
That's a good question.
Appreciate you, Lee. I will say this, man. I after the conversations I've had in the last 72 hours, I do think Auburn takes a high school quarterback.
I agree.
That doesn't mean they won't take a crossover guy out of the portal if they need one.
I think depending on who you land in the high school class will drive. I'm almost of the opinion right now, I think Auburn's going to sign 2 quarterbacks. I think they're going to sign a portal quarterback, and I think they're going to sign a high school quarterback, and that includes if you sign Juju. But I think who that high school quarterback is will drive what your transfer quarterback portal options are going to be because of the resources that you're going to have available.
Good point.
So are you know what I mean? Like if you say you take KJ Lacey, can you go out and afford a Riley Leonard type? I think that's probably on the table. If you land Juju Lewis, maybe you're looking at a guy like Haynes King or a Graham Mertz or Peyton Thorne or something of that nature, kind of a guy that's been good but needs like a fresh start or something of that nature that's not going to cost you the same amount that a bona fide guy that's been throwing for 3,500 plus and 30 touchdowns. You know what I mean?
Yep.
You're not spending that $1 million over 1 year. So I think that's probably the hardest thing to determine right now. But I'm with you, Jeffrey. I think the preference has always been to take a high school quarterback in this class. Who that's going to be at this point, I can't tell you. I want to say it's going to be one of Juju Lewis or KJ Lacey, but I think there's a door for a third person to be there. And so with that being the case and me not knowing who that third person is, it's really hard to say.
I'm going to stick with one of those 2.
Okay.
I think it will be.
And I said
right now.
I said last week that there's a chance they don't take one. And I do think that is a possibility, but I don't know how big a possibility it is. Because I think having a quarterback, even if you do miss on a Julian Lewis, just having one just seems to wrap things together better. I like if you're really trying to land a guy like Caleb Cunningham, can you do it without landing a quarterback in his class? Does it hurt you? I almost think it does. Maybe it doesn't, but it would worry me in my pursuit of a guy like Caleb Cunningham.
It would me too, Cole. I think it would absolutely hurt you. And I think Florida went through that, which is why that whole Jalen Rashada deal got offered. They were without a quarterback at one point and then decided they were going to go all in on Rashada I mean, I think it was the added benefit that he was committed to Miami. So there was some, some tossing of salt there towards Miami football recruiting. But that's the predicament you find yourself in. So if it's not Juju, and again, I think they're all in on him. I really do. And I think, look, you give your assessment of what you witnessed at camp. He's as accurate a high school quarterback as you're ever going to find. I mean, he has the ability, the ball placement. It's all there, man. The anticipatory part of playing quarterback, he sees things that a lot of kids don't at that age. And it's all moving in slow motion for him.
Yeah, I don't think he missed a throw. There were some incompletions, but I don't think it was ever on him because that ball placement is elite.
I was watching with Cole probably 3 possessions. I was sold.
Yeah. I mean,
he was doing sidearm.
He had one little stretch where he had a couple of bad balls, but I mean, upwards of 95% of his throws were on the money, and he's throwing it all over the field. He's, like you said, he's doing the sidearm throws. He's on the run. He's doing different things. I mean, he can do every little nuance of throws as a quarterback.
Yep.
And he's got the whole arsenal.
He really does, man. I mean, throwing off platform, changing arm slots. He shows you what, it's obviously on a lesser degree because he's not at that level. But, if I told you one day that he's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs and he looks like somebody else, it's not outside the realm of possibility. He's not the runner.
Right.
You know what I mean? But everything else is there as far as his ability. He has enough running ability and enough mobility to get outside the pocket and to create things and to be creative on the outside and to throw off platform. So he could fit in Hugh Freeze's offense very, very well. And look, man, when you throw the ball the way he does, you don't have to run the football.
Right.
You know what I mean? In the way some quarterbacks do. You don't have to be Nick Marshall if you're able to throw the ball the way he can.
With the Julian Lewis recruitment just so unpredictable. And it's one of the more unpredictable recruitments I've covered. I just don't know what he's going to do, and I can't get a good feel from anybody that I talk to. And so with that, that's the case. We've always known that to be the case. I have seen many interactions with staff members and KJ Lacey, and it always seems pretty natural to me. And I've always felt, and I've always had an inkling that KJ Lacey's just not going to be out of the picture.
No.
As long as this thing goes on.
If Juju Lewis was to reaffirm his commitment to USC or commit to Colorado, my percentage for KJ Lacey would be at least 55%.
Yeah. I'm just waiting for Auburn to turn up the juice there, right? Like that's my hesitation with saying it's going to be KJ's. I want to know that he's the pivot.
I think they're keeping him warm. I think they're keeping KJ warm. I think Juju's dad said something last week or the week before about carrying it into the fall.
Mm-hmm.
Cole, were you with me on this conversation? I don't know if that was just throwing this out there, maybe for more leverage or what. I'll be surprised if that happens.
I think that was something that Wilfong said, and I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I think it was by way of obviously Juju's dad. And I'm back to thinking it's Auburn versus SC, just because if you're looking at the composition of recruiting classes and guys, look, I know what the relationship is with Deion Sanders and his father. And Prime is a fantastic salesman. He's obviously got a great pitch of saying, hey, you can come here and be Shador's replacement. He's going to be a first-round draft pick. I think all the nonsense about him being a top 5 guy is exactly that nonsense, but I think he's probably a first-round pick. But what's he going to have around him at that point? That's what I don't know. I mean, Prime's strategy right now is purely portal, and there's not much by way of high school recruiting. I think they've got 3 commitments in that class, none of which are receivers. So you don't know from year to year, and I guess you could say that about anybody, what they're going to have on their roster when Juju gets there, if that's the choice. And because of that, I think that it's going to be SC or Auburn. I feel like at the end of the day, the business decision will be made to do what's best for Juju from what's going to be around him.
Man, I can't wait to see how just to have something to report on him, Auburn related. He came a couple of times. I hope we can talk to him after his official visit. I'm not expecting a conversation with him.
Sure.
But at least, if nothing else, there'll be some fresh intel to gather on where Auburn and him stand.
And for the record, just because who I've talked to doesn't have a good read on him doesn't mean there's low confidence. I have sensed some high confidence with some that Auburn could have a great chance here.
Sure.
Outside and inside. I've gotten that. It's not so much that, because I think that the interest and the mutual interest is real. It's the unpredictability. Do we trust this? What's going to happen? I mean, what's the deal
today may not be accurate tomorrow.
Exactly. That's what I get. That's the sense I get from everybody I've talked to on this situation.
Yeah.
So I don't know what to make of it. I don't know what to make of it.
Good stuff, Lee Carter. Tell that old lady, appreciate her listening and watching. And throwing in a comment or two. I heard you back there, big dog.
We got Carter on the line now. Carter, you're live.
Gentlemen, how about you?
How about you, Bama lover?
How's it going?
Oh, Carter.
Oh, yeah. I just wanted to call in and wanted to throw two things out there. When I see Juju Lewis chunk that ball around, tell me if y'all disagree or if y'all get this analogy. It reminds me of Tiger Woods back in his heyday, because even his misses are not bad. They're not far off. They're not way out of whack. And I see that dude, and I think they're going to throw the whole damn kitchen sink at him this coming weekend, and we'll just have to wait and see where the chips fall. But we got some kind of chance.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't foresee Hugh Freeze relenting at all. So that's my first thought. My second thought is my question is, give me your take on a better chance of Auburn flipping, Antonio Coleman or Elijah Melendez, and why?
Ooh,
nice.
I'll take them both. Better chance.
Better chance I'm going with Elijah Melendez today, because I'm predicting him in Auburn's class.
Today, I go with Elijah Melendez. Yes,
me too.
Down the road,
I think both of them could end up in this class.
Yeah, I think both of them. Both of them could, and both of them could land elsewhere. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like I think it's close on both, if I'm being honest. But as of today, I like Auburn's odds better with Melendez than I do with Coleman. But I sense enthusiasm in both. And in fairness, the other schools that are involved are also confident that they're going to land those players. I haven't seen anything from any reporting staff with Miami or Alabama that basically states that they're wavering in their confidence. So when when there's confidence on both sides like that, that means it could go either way.
Elijah was at Ole Miss this weekend. He's going to Oklahoma next weekend, and then Miami the next weekend. And then I think if he comes back to Big Cat, which he's planning to do, I think you'll know something whether or not he's coming to Auburn by then.
Yeah.
With Coleman, you ask, all right, he's done it once. Now, why did that happen? You know, is it a spur of the moment thing, and then he flipped back? I mean, you have to question that at least.
Right.
Well, you lose JG, you lose Jeremy Garrett, whom he committed to.
Yes.
And he flips back to Alabama. Now he's built the relationship even more with Vontrell King-Williams.
Yes.
But at the same time, for the kid's sake, even if he was going to flip back to Auburn, you want him to wait.
Yeah.
You want him to wait.
Yeah, you don't want.
I thought that was telling. That he said, "I want to have a final decision in like late November."
I agree, and that dovetails into what you've been saying theoretically the entire time, Jeffrey. I mean, you were the one that said, "Look, if he's going to flip, either he's going to flip and never visit Alabama ever again, and this is done," which I think is in this day and age is really hard to control that. Or, hey, signing day, you're letting everybody know it's Auburn. And I think that's probably the better play at this point if you can pull that off. And again, this is the interesting piece to me because I think the tie that binds here is Freddie Roach. I think Freddie's recruitment on this, and does he continue to stay at Alabama? Does he seek to go to the NFL? What happens after this year? Because he's an Alabama guy, but this isn't, Nick Saban that hired him. He was a holdover from prior staff. So I don't know how that situation is going to shake itself out. You saw Carnell Williams, who was a holdover, and Zach Etheridge, who were holdovers on Hugh Freeze's staff, and now they're coaching elsewhere this season. So we'll see, man. I'll be interested to see because I think he's a linchpin for the Alabama side in this recruitment. And how does that go?
That's Kevin. He's checking in with me.
Oh, okay. Making sure those 5 that she called in.
Yeah. He said my girlfriend Wanda called in.
She sure did.
She was awesome, Kevin. She was awesome. All right, Carter. Yes. So next week's show, Sunday night, we will have been refused. Well, either way, we will have much more intel on Julian Lewis. He's one of at least 11 or 12. I think Tyler Lockhart moving his visit up brought it down to 11. A dozen or so recruits were going to come into Auburn for official visits next weekend. So we'll have another loaded show next week.
Oh, that offer list is just nasty, or that visit list.
So if you haven't already, get locked on to Auburn Live on 3. As we've always said secretly, AU1 will get you 2 months for $1 at Auburn Live on 3. Go get signed up. Use the promo code AU1, capital A, capital U1. You'll get 2 months, which will take you through Big Cat. So everything from now and for the next 8 weeks, we'll get for $1. And I promise you, at the end of that, you'll be like, I think this is worth $10 a month. 2 to 3 gallons of gas. Absolutely. We're going to be back midweek for a recruiting show. We're going to talk about what has happened and maybe what will happen. We've got 6 official visitors on the Auburn official visitor list coming in Monday, like we said earlier, then a couple more on Wednesday, and then 12 or so on Friday. We're going to talk more in depth on all of that on Wednesday's show. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do so. We're inching closer to 10,000. Zach's going to eat a ghost pepper.
Maybe, you know what? Maybe for 10,000, we'll do that show live at Twin Peaks, right? Maybe that's what we'll do.
That would be fantastic.
I think so.
That would be fantastic.
I like it. We'll get Don setting that up for our 10,000th subscriber. We'll do a live show.
Would we just have to be there? Would we need Zach to, or could he be at home running the?
Zach, we're gonna have to talk some logistics on that.
Yeah, we'll figure that out.
Okay, I like it, man. But great show tonight. Even though Kevin couldn't lead us off, Edward did a fantastic job.
He did.
Listen to this. Listen to this roll call. Listen to this lineup from tonight. Edward from Selma, Anthony from Montgomery, fellas. Wanda from Wilmer. Had old War Damn Don, or War Eagle Don. Or it's War Damn Don.
Yeah.
Jacob from Springville, first time caller. Lee Carter and his old lady. Sweetest woman you ever did meet.
I'm telling you.
And the Bammer loving Carter Malden finishing us off. Appreciate everybody calling, man. Fantastic calls. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna have much more Auburn Live on 3. Y'all check out our show Wednesday morning. We'll have a recruiting show up, and we'll see you then. We appreciate it, everybody listening. We appreciate everybody watching. We also appreciate everybody who's going to give Jessica Andrews a call with the Talents Group. Give her a call, folks. Jessica Andrews with the Talents Group, 334-704-4442. She is a 5-star realtor consensus. All right, folks. Oh, Kevin, just before we do, Kevin says, my top 4 recruits: Caleb Cunningham, Eric Winters, Alvin Henderson, Antonio Coleman.
How about you?
Now that and the other wide receiver, Derek Smith.
Oh,
that's a good 5 now. That's a damn good 5, Kevin. Caleb Cunningham, Eric Winters, Alvin Henderson, Antonio Coleman, and Derek Smith. That's a good 5. That's a fantastic 5. Love it, Kevin. All right, folks, that's going to do it for tonight. Check us out midweek. Be back next Sunday with much more intel on lots of more recruits. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. For Cole, for Zach in the back who came to the front, for Alan Head, I'm Jeffrey Lee, man. Y'all said that left lane. See ya.